Yo, what's up, everyone? Today, we're going to talk about Melee, and not just Melee, competitive Melee. And I'll have you know, I'm the most knowledgeable person on competitive Melee. I have the most up-to-date, cutting-edge information when it comes to playing Melee. I won one local tournament probably over a year ago, so that's how you know that I know my stuff. So, all joking aside, what I want to look at today, and I know this question is incredibly stupid, but I want to look at how competitively viable are the wireframe characters in Melee. The ones you fight in some like event matches and you fight, I think, in the single player mode. Do you know how long it's been since I played the single player mode of Melee? I'm assuming there's a lot of people that are like that. You know, I'm just playing versus matches out here. I didn't even realize that I don't know if they're in the normal single player mode, like the normal, I guess, arcade like mode. Are they in the story mode thing? I don't know. Or venture mode, rather. Whatever. Doesn't matter. That's not what we're here for. What we're here to find out is if you could play these guys in a tournament. Short answer, probably not, because I don't know what tournament would allow you to run the wireframes at all. I think they'd probably just be like illegal characters. However, if they weren't, could you win a tournament with the wireframe characters? So, first things first. The wireframe characters, they are based off, to my knowledge, female wireframe being Zelda, not Sheik, and then male wireframe being Captain Falcon, to my knowledge. So here's where things get a little tricky. Since I, obviously, am not the most competitively minded Melee player, I don't know my stuff compared to, like, normal fighting games. And I think the other problem is anybody who's serious about Melee wouldn't be making this video. So I need to educate myself on Melee, right? I thought for sure that there would be something like Dust Loop for Melee. If people don't know what Dust Loop is, I got a quick example of what I'm talking about here. So I play, especially 2D fighting games, I play those pretty competitively. I'll play online. I've played some tournaments and stuff like that. I take, 2D fighting games pretty seriously. I love that kind of stuff. So when I'm trying to learn something, I like to go to Dust Loop and, other resources, but Dust Loop's my first stop. So say I'm playing BlazBlue Central Fiction, and Raelius was my main for a while I was playing decently competitively and stuff. And so say I never played Rayleigh. I'm getting Melee and Raelius confused. I'm so professional. So say I'm playing Raelius, and it's either been a minute or I've never played him before, and I want to see the general overview before I start practicing or while I'm practicing. So you can go to Dust Loop. This is a great website. Everybody that contributes to this, this is incredible. I'm glad everybody's made this site and put all this information out there for this kind of stuff. It's like all for Arc System Work stuff. So you have your Guilty Gear in here. You have your Dragon Ball Fighters. There's even a similar wiki that has stuff on Grand Blue and Under Night. I believe is Under Night in this one. Point is, there's a couple wikis like this, and so I could just look at even. I just go to my normal attacks, and I can see frame data. I can see, what the situation I would use this move in. And the thing is, this information is for every move for all these different characters. Like I said, I can see all the frame data, the recovery data, which I know is frame data. And I can see, even again, what the utility of this move is going to be, why I would be using it, the cost of these moves and stuff like that, what what their purpose is, even air unblockable, all this kind of stuff for everything, right? So, and it even tells you for a lot of things an overview on strengths and weaknesses, why you might want to play this character, what their downsides are going to be, that kind of stuff, right? So the thing is, like I said, I don't know enough about competitive Melee, right? So I wanted to learn about competitive Melee, and I wanted to learn in a way that I could read. I'm very much a person that learns by reading, and the other thing is I wanted this to kind of be something where I'm learning as we're making this video. I want you to learn with me. Therefore, video guides aren't really a good thing for this video, because I'm not just going to take someone else's content and then we would just be sitting through somebody else's video. That's not cool. I'm not going to do that. And honestly, that's just, unless I'm looking for something incredibly specific, that's kind of not how I like to learn. I like to read something, see its use case, and then try to apply that myself. And then if I'm If I'm struggling at that point, then I go to video guides. I know people learn differently and stuff, but I wanted to sit down and be like, okay, Zelda neutral attack, what kind of damage do we have? What is it for? What does it do? That way I can make my own comparisons to the wireframe, right? Unfortunately, this information is incredibly splintered. Most of it's in video form, which is not a terrible thing, but it's like I can't just be like, you're sitting down and you're playing Melee and stuff with your friends and stuff, and you're like, oh, you want to try, we're going to learn Yoshi today or something, We can't just sit down, open a dust loop like article, and see what our general game plan is going to be and what we want to be using. There's not really a good center, like, hub of information like that for Melee. Now, I've looked around. I've looked at, like, this Melee library. I was trying to learn stuff about Captain Falcon, and, like I'm not dissing on these resources at all. I'm glad they're here. It's just I'm surprised how splintered this stuff is. I was trying to learn Zelda stuff from this profane tome thing. I don't even see this article's from the future. It's from 2039, right? So that's how up to date my information is. That's really funny. I didn't notice that. That wasn't an intentional joke. Point being, information is not that like collected. So this is imposing a bit more of a challenge on me than I thought it was going to be, because like I said, I don't play competitive Melee. I play Melee competitively in a sense of me taking it seriously when I play it, but not in the sense where I've like actually tried to compete against like people better than me and stuff. You know what I mean? Because again, like that local tournament I did, I was probably the only one that actually like played fighting games normal. That's not like a fair comparison. So let us start with some basics from the Smash Bros. Wiki. I'm telling you, this is probably the best we're going to get. And again, this isn't like this is information on the wireframe character itself. But before we get into that, my general knowledge here, and this is a big disclaimer for like the whole video. I could be wrong about a lot of things. Like I said, I don't hyper keep up with competitive Melee. I like to watch some stuff. Melee is a very fun game, both casually, competitively. Just, it's a great game, but I don't keep up with it super well, because the problem is I play like 20 different fighting games. I can't keep up with everything all at once. I certainly try to. I was watching like 4 Evo streams at once. So the thing is, competitively, I believe Zelda is usually pretty low. And my understanding here, see like this competitive play section, I don't blame them for it being this short, because again, I feel like this wiki is probably more for like a casual audience, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem is this information is very lackluster in comparison to what I would like to learn about from reading and stuff. And again, that might be more of a personal problem on my end. My understanding is that Zelda is pretty bad, competitively speaking. And again, Melee is not like a modern fighting game where people will, for lack of a better word, whine about character tier placements and stuff like that for modern fighting games. But like, look, you can boot up like Granblue, and I think you could beat anybody with anybody as long as you have a decent skill level. It's not like, sometimes I think people act like modern fighting games are like older fighting games, where sometimes entire characters are just 100% not viable to play at, like seriously, and maybe even casually. Now, I was big stupid in my local tournament. I still played Roy. I know he's bad. I know he's got that big sour spot on his sword. I know that. But again, the skill level ratio at that local tournament was 100% in my favor. I had no issues doing that. I played Roy when I was younger, just playing the game like as a video game before I got super serious about like fighting games and stuff like that. Therefore, I was just so comfortable with it. I'm like, why change? Why try to play Marth? I'm already comfortable with it. I've seen some competitive Roy stuff and, just kind of try to learn from that. But again, like there is like, unless something comes out again, like the Donkey Kong stuff, I don't think Roy's ever going to be worth playing over Marth ever. There's not going to be like an edge case scenario where like, maybe you would. It's not like, it's not like you're playing like even like Street Fighter 3 or something. And I know much more complicated, different game, but it's like, even though on a very casual surface, you might look at Ryu and kind of be like, why What's the difference? You know, there's still an insane amount of differences between them, and there's a genuine reason to pick either of them. While you're playing Melee and how, relatively speaking, unbalanced it is compared to modern fighting games. And it's like, why would you play as Roy? Unless you're just unbelievably comfortable playing as Roy. Why would you play as Roy? You know, just pick Marth or something. Or in the case of like Fox and Falco, just pick Fox, you know? From my understanding, at least. So, Zelda, not good. My understanding is that there's a common joke in competitive Melee that Zelda's best move is down B because it transforms her into Sheik. So, I think if my understanding on this is right, is that Sheik is okay, Zelda is bad, which I think overall, competitively, means just people just don't want to play Zelda. Now, I don't know. I have this really outdated tier list. This is already years old. I was trying to find like a 2024 tier list. Couldn't find one in text form. And I was hoping for something like, you know, some event hub thing which just like scores tiers by like multiple inputs of like tournament wins and losses and stuff like that to get maybe a little more of an objective idea. That's not going to happen. This is, I think, the best we can visually look at. And so if we're looking at this, Looks like Zelda, not so good. But again, this is still outdated information, right? And again, this Melee definitely seems like the type of game where it's not like, oh, Zelda's just a little worse than a top tier or a mid tier or something. It's like, why would you do that to yourself if you want to actually compete and win? So, what are we looking at as far as the wireframes are concerned? Let's see. Wait, hold on. Zelda, blah, blah, blah. Mewtwo, that's a big player, right? See, that's how knowledgeable I am. Notably believe that Zelda was one of the worst two characters in the game, citing her poor frame data and awful approach in his assessment. Zelda has made a little impact in tournaments from the start of the metagame. Let's see. Her only modern players are semi-active at best. Do not place high enough to earn money in large tournaments without also using a better character. Stop playing the game entirely. This guy, and then well, that is unfortunate. Only time Zelda shows up in top level players when Sheik's player transforms into her off stage to take advantage of the longer recovery. Yeah. So generally speaking, I don't want this just to be the wiki reading video. Jesus. Generally speaking, not good. And the problem is already that's where our wireframe is going to be sitting at, is that wireframe is just Zelda, not even Sheik. So let me get in. Let's get back to the game for a second here. See, I know my hotkeys. Okay, so one thing. I don't think I mess with any player height values. I don't think. Wireframe is much taller than Zelda, and I think that's actually going to have some ramifications, by hitbox, I believe. So here's the thing. Let's reset this real quick. So, casually speaking, if you don't know about the wireframes, you never played either around with the debug menu with like an action replay or anything, or you just haven't messed with like this training hack pack. By the way, I'm using 20XX, the training hack pack. Great tool, both competitively and casually. Like, I've had a lot of fun with this just playing with my friends, just due to all the different stage options and settings that we can mess around with. Because we used to do stuff like adjust damage values and defense values and all this kind of stuff through, I believe it was this training hack pack, and not just the normal debug menu, and like adjust like character sizes and all this kind of stuff. Like, this is even fun to use if you're not thinking about playing Melee seriously. And you know, you can do stuff like 6-player battles, I believe, with this too. Not that you're going to be hooking up 6 controllers to your GameCube. And for what it's worth, this is real GameCube. I have an HDMI out thing through an upscaler. Damn classic. So that's why if you're used to maybe seeing emulated Melee in like 4K, we're working with crappy capture card with real GameCube. So if you, like I said, if you don't know about any of this stuff, the wireframes are a lot like the fighting polygon team in the original Smash Bros., being that they have characters' normal A attacks, right? You have normal A attacks. However, what you don't have, we have a taunt. You don't have any. This is me pressing B, right? there's no B attacks. There's no, if I turn on my second controller here, we have, oh, do we, oh, well, it would help if I, see, there is none of that. I don't obviously have like an input up. I'm sure there's ways I could do that, but no B attacks. So that already puts the wireframe at a massive disadvantage, considering, obviously, your probably one of your major recovery tools is usually tied to up B. So when you don't have up B, that really hampers things, right? And let's see. By the way, I don't really know how to wave dash. So you know this. I barely learned it like maybe like a year ago or something before that tournament thing, and it was wholly unnecessary for me to be doing that. And again, with Zelda's like general floatiness, I don't know how. I'm so skilled at this. I don't know how viable that even is, because this is definitely like floaty. Granted, I could be way off the mark on what makes it easier to wave dash with certain characters, if that's even a thing. Because I'm trying. So recovery wise, the best you could do is just like jump twice and then dodge upwards or diagonally or something if you're falling off a ledge. Because again, there's up B really covers way more distance than just jumping like that. Like how far can I go down? if I didn't miss the mark a little bit comparatively, there is no way that the wireframe is getting back up from that. Wow, I'm not good at this, am I? But you get my point. The wireframe absolutely cannot do that. It has like zero actually decent recovery tools. So let's start off with some, since all we have to work with is basic attacks, but don't worry, we also have, we do have grab. Grab is a thing that we have. And like I said, we have taunt. Very, very important. We have taunt. So let's see. I want, like, it looks like Zelda's basic attack right here. It looks like this is 1 to 3 hits, so I don't know if I'd get the same numbers out of that, but there is something I want to look at with her basic attack, because what I'm talking about, if I flip to my other screen here, is that this neutral attack, 2%, 1 to 3 hits. So it's got like a little like magic effect, right? So we go back to melee here. We got basic attack. Right, we did like 7 damage. So here's the thing I noticed. We got wireframe here, right? It doesn't do that. It doesn't have that same extra hit effect, which also means it doesn't have nearly the same damage effect. So this is already incredibly interesting to me, because I didn't even like think about this before when I just messed around with these characters. I didn't realize that the differences really were like that deep already. That's an entirely different effect, right? So that's just neutral A, and we're already completely different, honestly, and much worse off, right? Oh, every time I reset, it does that. Let's see, if I actually knew how to use the training hack pack tools, maybe I wouldn't be this silly. But the thing is, I don't really know what I'm doing with that now, do I? So let's look at something else here. So let's look at something consistent. So we have up tilt, right? 11%, waves her hand, filled with sparks, blah, blah, blah. So I'm wondering if this whole thing, like I said, this is why I wish I had something maybe like a little more competitively focused. Like surprisingly powerful. That seems to me like fluff text that isn't helping me. But it says hitbacks last for a long time. So I'm wondering if this is like magic related according to like her hit effects. The thing is, I don't play Zelda in melee like at all. So I don't know enough about Zelda to begin with. But let's see her up tilt, and I'm doing this both by myself, by the way. So I'm doing the best I can. So okay, is that okay? It said 11%. Excuse me. That's not 11%. But see, because do different characters have different defense values? Because if that's the case, these numbers mean like nothing to me. Do different characters take different amounts of damage? Yeah, I'm not sure. I can't find a quick good answer on whether or not different characters take different amounts of damage. I don't know if it's like if you look at like something like Strive, like Guilty Gear Strive, that different characters get different amounts of what they call guts that actually do modify the amount of damage they take at different health values. I don't know if something like that exists in Melee, but as we saw, this was the wiki right here said 11% up tilt, unless I'm understanding up tilt wrong, which I don't think I am. That was not 11%. So here's the thing. Let's reset that again. So as we saw, what did that do? Like 16% or something? 13. Yeah, well, I mean, it is Melee. It's not going to be that consistent, I suppose, because, you know, hitboxes really do matter in spacing and all that kind of stuff. But anyways, we got about 13. I swear that was 16 before. So we at least did 10 damage, but it doesn't have that same bigger hitbox. Is that hitbox actually... Wait. Hitbox. I know there's a button for that. Oh, cool. What's that? Is that like a reset? Oh, that is. Not damage reset, but... Hold on. Okay, so that took an embarrassing amount of time to figure out. However, I did figure it out. So, what we're looking at here... I turned off the HUD because I figured that out too. That way we can see the hitboxes better. The one on the left, that is the wireframe. The one on the right, the shorter one, that is normal Zelda. So, getting back to that up tilt, Zelda's, if you look at the hitbox, which is I'm colorblind, but what I presume to be the reddish part, you can kind of see, especially near the end, how it kind of extends in front and behind her. But then we look at the wireframes, it is not like that. It is just straight up just like her arm, instead of up and left and right as well, which, again, kind of shows how much worse it is. So then, I think, if we look at some of her other normal attacks, we want to go back to... Because, again, there's only... Here's something I'm kind of interested in here, because I think some of Zelda's grabs, right? Oh, I got hitboxes at the... Oh, see. This is the problem with using, like, training development tools, is that I have no idea what I'm doing. And also, we got a different costume for the wireframe now. I didn't mean to do that, but that's what happened. So, if we look at, I think, some of Zelda's grabs, right? Because I'm curious how grab neutral A works in comparison. It is the same. Okay. We can't see damage values without the HUD, though. Can we? That was... I totally know what I'm doing. Whoops. There we go. 2, 2, 2. Assuming it's the same. Right. Wait, no, that was... Okay, we're at 27. No, that did... That went up by an odd amount there. Okay, it is just like that. It's not consistent. Wow, I love Melee. Okay, so it's not consistent damage. Why would it be? Alright, that is super strange. Wow, I clearly need to play more Melee. Okay, so then... what other hits of Zelda's have that additional... Ooh! Oh, cool, we get like a trajectory line. I don't know how I turned that on. Oh my god, I'm an expert. Okay, so we kind of saw how that worked. Okay. Wow, that does work. And the trajectory is definitely... See, again, when we look at... When we can... Yeah, it's even shorter of a hitbox on top of it, and... It just straight up doesn't last as long either. Garbage. Okay. I'm curious about down tilt as well. So, if we look at down tilt... Those don't look too dissimilar. Sorry for the flashing light. Okay, so... Those are actually quite similar, surprisingly. Okay, so we looked at some of the tilts there. Now, stuff like... If we want to... Oh, cool, I figured out how to actually pause it. Yeah, see, some of this might be useful. Like 1/4 speed this stuff. And then... Okay, that's a little too slow. Let's half speed this. Because we were talking about how that, like, just lasts longer. And if we slow down the speed... We could definitely see that. Yeah, that's much longer. Oh. Well, would you look at that? This is... See, I've never played around with these tools too much. This is so useful. This really is. Okay, so we're learning together here. And then some of the other stuff I'm kind of interested in is... Yeah, like just aerial neutral A. So let us... We want... Okay, because there's some like descending hits there too that I wonder if the wireframe also has. It does look like it. But something's telling me we want to reset. About 3% or so. See, like, again, like, it's going to be varied, but I definitely do think there's just more hits to that. Now, let's turn back on the hit boxes. Let's kind of re-look at that again. It's not too dissimilar. You know, the jump height comparison's interesting. Is it the same? Hold on. Science here. Oh, whoops. Yeah, okay, the wireframe definitely jumps higher. I wouldn't have thought to look at that. Interesting. Okay. Alright, so that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought about that. Okay. So what else can Zelda do over here? So we have like, okay, so like that kind of aerial forward A. What? That hitbox seems so much worse. Is it? Yeah, I think it definitely is. Well, we're doing 1/4 speed. So, we want... That's, even in like a 4 speed, that's like instantly. See, on the surface with the hitboxes though, it doesn't look all that different. What information did I turn on? Clearly, I have no idea what I'm doing. Oh, it's like a position thing. Oh, that's really actually cool. How do I turn that off? Oh, now that's the good stuff right there. Okay, this is not helping me at all, is it? Okay. So, next thing I need to figure out would be how to turn that off. Alright, cool, I figured it out. So, what I also did figure out is we can actually turn on the controller display up there. It's easier to see if I turn off the HUD. So you can actually see, you know, when I'm pressing B here, that little red square doesn't do anything. So, wait, what is this button? Oh, that's jump. So that is cool. That is useful. So then, what else should we be looking at here? So, like, again, the thing is, when it comes to even the normal attacks, the wireframe is so much significantly worse. Just even like as far as how long the hitbox stays on, it's less than that. The range seems a lot worse. And again, like you'd think too with like the bigger model and where the hitboxes are, it might be like easier to hit, but it's just like when you look at stuff like what's the one? Oh, I'm thinking like up tilt. When you look at like up tilt, like it doesn't matter how big the actual hitbox is in comparison when it doesn't go front and behind her. So I think, did we go through most of our normal moves here? Let's see, because we went through that, we went through neutral. Oh, we didn't go through. Okay, so that's like, if we're looking at that. Oh, goodness. Okay, so something tells me that her aerial up A is probably... Sorry for the flashing again. I'll put an epilepsy warning in the beginning. So if we look at up A, I want to... Okay, that was like... Okay, we're at 30. This is difficult to do by myself. Oh my god, okay. This is like a brain... Like a tongue twister, but with my hands. Okay, so that was roughly... What, like 11-12% or so, and then what we want to do is same thing here. Oh my god. Oh goodness. This is so hard for me to figure out. Okay, we're at 40%, 52, about 10%. So it doesn't actually look like it might be significantly worse. But again, melee definitely does seem to be inconsistent. Okay, but it is interesting when you look at the fact that the hitbox is definitely much bigger. Much bigger. That might be honestly one of the worst examples in the disfavor of the wireframe. That's pretty rough. Okay, that's... I'm assuming... Like, it seems like the grabs are actually pretty untouched, surprisingly. Wait, hold on. Was that different? No, it wasn't. It just doesn't have a sound effect. Yeah, because even if you look at, like, your tools just from, like, even from a new, like, just using A and grabs, like, even that is, like, it's just worse. And, like, you just have a bigger hitbox, too. And, well, surprisingly, the jump thing is interesting considering how much better the wireframe can jump. But again, you completely lack up B, so what does it really matter? Okay, so forward, we did forward aerial, right? Yeah, we did. Okay, so I don't think there'd be any significant changes when it comes to like dodging. Right, there wouldn't be, right? This is scientific right here, I promise you. Okay, no, I think that might just be because of where they're at. Hold on. Oh, wait. Okay, hold on. I got the scientific method right here. No, wait. I actually think they dodge farther. Oh, that's really interesting. Okay, so... You know, all things considering, I guess... Compared to what I thought it was going to be like, their aerial recovery is better than I thought it was, honestly. Obviously, it's it's nowhere near that, like, at all. But, no, that is... Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, they're just normal, like, dodge options and recovery options, you know, sans up B, are kind of better. That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Okay, so down... Yeah, we did 2% throw. Yeah, so we looked at a little bit of flashing again. We're going to turn back on HUD. Okay, so we looked at the normal moves here, right? And then, unfortunately, we can't look at specials, right? So, I wonder if they have different weights, too. So, well, they have the same taunt, we know that. So, judging by the fact that Zelda is pretty low on tier list, what do you think our chances of winning a Melee tournament with this wireframe would be? I would guess probably not at all. I don't think you're winning anything with this wireframe. I would even argue to say that you're better off. Let's look at where's our outdated tier list again? Okay, here you go. Because it's strange, because wasn't Pichu supposed to actually be like a joke character, but Pichu's like better than some of these? I honestly thought Kirby would be better, but again, outdated tier list. I swear I've seen like competitive players pick Kirby, but maybe I'm out of my mind. And Bowser too, I swear. But as far as the female wireframe is concerned, unfortunately, I'd probably say she's bottom tier compared to literally even the other bottom tiers. Like, you're not even winning against Zelda with the female wireframe. Let's be real. That air recovery still isn't good enough. But again, it is interesting when you look at, you know, the ground recovery stuff. That I was not really expecting. But again, it's almost like the thing is, I almost think right, honestly, not that I can really wave dash, but it seems I was getting it for like a second. Plus, I'm using a wave bird for player 2, so that's definitely not helping with any sort of input lag. Not that the wave bird's honestly bad, but yeah, you know, this wireframe's so much floatier. You are not wave dashing with this wireframe like at all. Yeah, you know. Okay, so here's our verdict for let's get everything kind of back to basics again. So what's our verdict on female wireframe? Probably the worst character in the game, unfortunately. Your tournament chances, pretty bad. However, I do want somebody to run a tournament with the wireframe, and I do want them to win. I don't know how this is going to happen, but I want you to organize your own local Melee tournament, and I want you specifically to pick the female wireframe, and I want you to beat out all the competition, okay? So, alright. Not a great start as far as our competitive chances with a wireframe, but all hope is not lost, right? There is another wireframe to be looking at here, right? Okay, so here's where our chances might improve. What we're looking at here, we got the male wireframe, who's based on Captain Falcon. Just like Zelda, in the female wireframe, male wireframe is way bigger than Captain Falcon, it looks like. But here's the thing. Thank you, Kitty. Here's the thing. When we look at tier list, right? Outdated tier list from 3 years ago, Captain Falcon is better than Zelda from, you know, totally reliable, up-to-date information. And yes, Sheik may be better than Captain Falcon, but that doesn't matter when the female wireframe can't be Sheik whatsoever. So, this is where our chances might improve if we're trying to play competitive Melee with the male wireframe, because our base is definitely better than Zelda, right? So let's just take a quick glance at what we got going on here, right? So already off the bat, I will say, compared to messing around with Zelda and the female wireframe, Captain Falcon is like so much faster and weightier. That is a huge difference. See, I can look guys, I can totally wave dash. Just give me like a year, right? Okay, so but my god, he's so much faster. So a lot of his hits, his normal hits, which is obviously what we have to work on, they don't seem to have the same like additional effects that Zelda's does, like in the sense of extended hitboxes both in length and in time, duration rather, I should say. However, it looks like if we're looking back on this super accurate up-to-date wiki, that we have some stuff here that says like this forward smash that dealing powerful flame damage, fire is a kind of effect in the Super Smash Bros. Series that debuted in Super Smash Bros. No, okay, but it looks like that's supposed to have some sort of additional effect, kind of like the magic I'm thinking, and it does, right? So let's get a damage value on that real quick. So if we're looking at fresh wireframe, 18%, right? So what does wireframe have going for him? Ooh, that's bad. Look at the knockback difference too. It's like it's nothing. Wow, that is so much worse. So that, what do we have going for that? Well, it's like, again, like the knockback also just seems so much worse. I know we're at more damage here, but wow, that's oh, that sucks. Okay. Let's, before we get too off track, let's look at some of our normals here. So we have, okay, we have some of that going on, right? So what's our neutral A's looking like? Oh my god, that's so much worse. He can't do like, he can't do all the punches. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Oh my god. Okay, that's a pretty big downsize. Okay. That's awful. And he doesn't even do like that like additional third attack. This is so hard to do with one set of hands rather. Oh my god, that's so much worse. Okay. So what else do we have here? We looked at forward A, right? Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Now we looked at down A. Down A is also much worse. Okay, what's going on with up A, or up tilt? So we have that, like, double kick there, right? Even with that much more damage, the knockback is terrible. Okay, so before we move on to aerial stuff, let's turn back on our hitboxes and turn off our HUD. So what kind of... Those actually seem to be pretty similar. Obviously, it looks like it'd be easier to hit with the wireframe, honestly. So then when we look at, like, elbow. Again, like, just purely looking at that. Wait, does that really beat that out? Okay, hold on. Oh, that's kind of sweet. Wait, what button is what? Okay, yeah, I got this. This is epic. Okay, so then we have, like, down. The one thing, though, I feel like for some spacing and stuff, there's almost... Again, like, I'm not the most competitive melee player, but looking at these hitboxes here, it almost seems like there's too much space beneath the wireframe compared to, you know, using Captain Falcon's shorter stature. I'm sure there would be some scenarios where that would definitely kind of just be worse to have that happen. Okay, and then obviously the loss of that, I assume, is pretty bad, especially the loss of even just the third hit, like, let alone not the whole additional extra hits at the end of that. So that's not great. That's genuinely pretty awful. So let's, again, a little bit of flashing is going to go on. Okay, so let's look at some of our air stuff. Wow, the jumping on the wireframe is, like, much heavier. But again, like, floatier, just like the other wireframe. Again, like, I wonder if they did kind of give them better jumps, better subjectively, but more like floatier jumps to make up for their, you know, lack of recovery options. Yeah, same difference. Okay. So let's look at some aerial attacks, right? Okay, so there's... And again, it's like almost because of... See, you're kind of screwed with this bigger stature. Not only because of how it's kind of displacing the hitbox, but, like, I could definitely... Not only because of the wireframe being bigger, but also because of my hitbox being more low to the ground when I'm Captain Falcon, I can reasonably, like, jump up and do that. It's like a short little, like, hop, right? Comparatively, like, that's like See, I have to kind of like wait a little longer before I want to try to do that. In comparison, like I could just jump up and do that. Up tilt there. So the bigger hitbox just kind of sucks, honestly. So then we have down tilt there, aerial down tilt. Wait, hold on. The science there. Wait, yeah, Captain Falcon's down tilt like affects like the hitbox is like his whole lower body, like upper and lower body, just like not the head. It looks like. But again, is that the same? It's just the larger stature is making it like... It is. It's just... So, that is problematic. Looks like Captain Falcon's down tilt does cover a lot of his hurt box, but not the male wireframes because of how much bigger he is. Because it looks like they're applying... And trust me, I don't think the wireframes were this thought out, and they were not thought out for competitive play, mind you. They're just, enemies to fight in single player. But because he's sharing, like, the thing is, they almost look like... Okay, we need some slower speed on this. Let's do some half-speed stuff. So it looks like... Honestly, I need a slower speed, because I'm trying to look at the size of the hitbox. So... Okay, it almost looks like... I'm gonna have to, like, slow that footage down, but it almost looks like the wireframes is slightly bigger, but it still isn't covering him enough. Okay, so then we have forward tilt in the air. Again, it's the same kind of... Oh, that's kind of just... It almost... Again, I don't know if it's a size thing, but it almost kind of looks like a little more... like... disjointed on Captain Falcon. You see, with the way it looks like his hitbox is coming out of his knee more compared to the male wireframe. But again, I don't know if they just applied similar hitboxes despite their hurt boxes. Again, that would make sense development-wise. Why would they think this hard about it, Because it definitely looks like, yeah, it looks like Captain Falcon is coming more out of his knee than the wireframe. So it looks like that hitbox is going a little farther out. And as a consequence, the inner circle is staying a little farther in the male wireframe, but it's also just straight up smaller, isn't it? It is. So they did make some adjustments here. Yeah, because that like inner circle is just straight up smaller and worse on the male wireframe. Interesting. Okay, then down tilt. I think we looked a little bit at down tilt. Yeah, we did. And what about up tilt? We looked at up tilt. Okay, so then we have to look at grabs. What do we have going on for grabs? Let's do like... Okay, that was down grab. Wait, what? Oh, okay, no, I just... Oh, it seems like... Is it just because of the damage values? It probably is. Because, like, the knockback was so much more with Captain Falcon. Okay, let's get a little more of an accurate read on this. Oh my god, no, that's still, like... That's still... But it almost creates an interesting scenario where they're so close to you that you might be able to do something additional at higher percentages. But again, I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. That's interesting. Because I can almost see a scenario where that might be, like, helpful. Yeah, almost. Okay. I forgot to look at just basic, like, grab attacks. Okay. Oh, wait. What is that? Is that just a melee thing? With it being more hits? It looks like I'm doing, like, roughly 1 to 2%. Yeah, looks like it's roughly the same. Wait, can the wireframe just get more basic grab attacks off, or... No, I genuinely think this is just hashtag just melee things. Because that was 4 that time. Okay, I'm not going to pretend I know how the grabs work, because that's ridiculous. Okay, so what about up grab? What do we got going on there? Okay, that's actually not the hitbox, or how far they get hit away is not that much. But again, I think I understand the utility of something like that with like up B or something, I'm assuming. Yeah, like for sure. I'm not saying that's the most viable competitive option, but again, with his up grab kind of being geared towards something like that, your options are much more limited with this wireframe. But granted, I don't really know if you'd want to just up B after a grab like that. You might genuinely most times want to do something that's a normal attack. But again, the lack of options doesn't mean it's a good thing, even if your better option is a normal attack. But even then, it's still like you don't get hit as far, and with the way you're so much taller in your hitbox. Oh my god, those words aren't going to sound like real words by the time I'm done with this video. With the way those are kind of harder to hit with the bigger stature you have. Again, like even with like a normal, and again, even up throw into some basic attacks, it's just worse. It's just worse. I can't even get that third hit in there. So, taunt. Perfect. Except he doesn't say show your moves or anything like that, so it's automatically worse in the competitive scene. So, and again, the thing is, with Captain Falcon, I feel like a lot of his good tools, probably not Falcon Punch, honestly, just due to how slow it is. Granted, I know in tournaments and stuff, people know what they're doing more than I do. But like that down kick, I could definitely see that down special, the utility of having something like that. Because if I'm looking at even something like that up grab, especially at a higher percentage, I'm getting so confused having both these controllers up here. See, even something like that, if I wanted to do that, I don't really have... See, I just lose so many more options here. So, like, on paper, it definitely seems like if we're looking at basic attacks here, these all kind of do seem like they're better than Zelda's for sure, like, without a doubt. However, again, because, like, also, if we go back to the game for a second here, we just seem to lose out on a lot of, like, the speed of Captain Falcon 2, which makes trying to link together some of these hits, like, so much... And again, like, I feel like, you know, Captain Falcon can sync so much faster. Like, these wireframes can't seem to just go straight, like, I did not mean to do that, but that is kind of emblematic of the differences of these characters. But, again, like, if I jump, I can't just, like, tap down to push myself back downwards, which again means stuff like wave dashing not gonna happen with these wireframes, right? So I think that's about where we're sitting at in regards to the competitive, how viable competitively the wireframes are, and it looks like the chances just aren't that good, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean you can't try, right? Unfortunately, I know this is going to be shocking, but I have no competitive Melee players on hand right now. But what I do have is the training hack pack. And what it does have is an improved AI that does, you know, more ridiculous high-level stuff. I'm not going to say it's anywhere near the difficulty of actually playing somebody good. But what we're going to do is I'm going to try 2 matches here. We'll do a stock of 3 or 4. I'll pick the wireframes, and then I'll pick the normal character counterparts. I'll put them on the highest difficulty that this hack pack allows for, and then I'll see what I can do against at least a really hard CPU. So I will be right back with you once I adjust some settings. Okay, so I'm back. I got this match set up. We're doing female wireframe first with Zelda as the hardest CPU the 20XX mod has to offer. I made sure that I have the AI in 20XX and not normal CPU. Now I'm thinking, like, competitively, you know, probably Final Destination, right? That makes sense, or Battlefield, but, you know, where's the fun in that, right? Let's add an element to make this harder too. So again, training hack pack, very cool both competitively and casually. It's got a lot of stage options that are, you know, fun for casual stuff that, you know, would be pretty bad competitively. But you know, it's got stuff like some more past stages and stuff. One of my favorite additions, because I used to do this with just the debug menu, but you can go into the 20XX settings that through like its own variation of the debug menu and pick what target test you want. So you can fight on Mars target test stage if you want. You can fight on some of the, like the event match stages and stuff. Then just straight up additional stages, stuff from the adventure mode, the home run contest. Not all these obviously work super well as like stages. You got, you know, the test stage that I covered in my one Smash Bros video. So, you know, you got some cool stuff here. But I think, you know, long destination is an option too, right? But I think what I want, you know what is this? This almost looks like the one Kirby test stage in Smash Bros. 1. We're going to do our competitive match on this, okay? Let's do it. I don't know what this is and it doesn't matter. Okay. Cool music. I hope that doesn't get copyrighted. Okay, wow, I haven't played Melee in a while. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be anywhere near a competitive player, obviously. Oh, God. I'm so floaty and heavy. You know, all in all, not too bad so far, right? Oh, that was a cool dodge. Oh, God. Oh, my God. These hitboxes are awful. I'm so screwed. This is a cool stage. I like this a lot, actually. It's like a nice variation on a Battlefield-like stage. See, I can't chase off the stage too well either because I got like no good recovery options. Oh my goodness. That was risky and dumb and not worth it. Good. That was a taunt, just so you know. Yeah, that up tilt is so much better. I mean, it's still Zelda, I understand that, but still. Ooh. Yeah, these CPUs really aren't, like, bad. In my opinion, I'm not the most professional Melee player. Like, you know, that might not have been smart. Oh my goodness. Oh. I did not earn that. I did not earn that. See, I also wonder how the CPU deals with these, like, more custom stages. Well, I know the CPU is more custom, but... Oh my god, I have a fighting chance. I just realized, the whole time, the CPU is not transforming into Sheik. But honestly, I kind of like that, because then we can get, like, a little more of a one-to-one comparison. That's really weird. I wonder, there's got to be, like, a setting for that or something. I would imagine, at least. Like, does the CPU just think taking the time to transform is just so not worth it? Oh my god, I had this handed to me and I kind of screwed up. Got 17 from one. I don't think I have anything that'll do 17 damage. Okay. That is such a terrible forward tilt. Ooh, not good. I forgot to look at running attacks. Well, point still kind of stands. Whoa, okay. I'll be honest, that wasn't the result I was expecting. So, okay, I guess that, you know, I'm clearly tournament ready with the female wireframe. Now the question is, am I tournament ready with the male wireframe? So again, if you want to play along at home, which is always something I kind of encourage doing after watching one of my videos. So this is the 20XX training hack pack that is outdated by a version. I think it's version 5.02 now. I need to update my files. So if you want to play as the wireframes, you can hover over Peach, change it to female wireframe with the press of the Z button. And if you want male wireframe, it's Captain Falcon. It's cool they even gave him like character select art. It's actually super cool. And then there's some extra stuff in here too, like if you want Master Hand or Crazy Hand or Giga Bowser. That's a little out of the scope for this video because it's also not as funny because those characters are just actually good. But again, if you want to try this at home, get some friends together, maybe do some like 4-player or with this pack, 6-player wireframe matches. Like you got to do like, because what it is, you can like clone like a player and still have it be controlled by a CPU and stuff. You should do 3-on-3, 3 male wireframes, 3 female wireframes, figure out the team stuff or free for all. Get like, you know what? That's going to be our third match, okay? Now let's see, how ready am I for competitive male wireframe? So that was a cool stage, right? What about, why don't we do, I mean, Miiverse is pretty tempting, right? Mementos, I love Persona. So what about, oh, that's cool. You know, I am actually a big fan of the stage normally. Thinking about that. Omega Peach's Castle. Oh, that's cool. You know what? We'll do this. Oh, that's super cool. They changed the background and everything. Oh my god. Oh, these still switches. Oh, cool. Very competitive standard melee stuff right here. Oh my god. Sweet music too. This music is super familiar. What is this music? Oh, this is like Ghost House music from Super Mario World? Or am I out of my mind? Like a remix of it. Okay, Captain Falcon seems much better than Zelda. You know, that aerial down tilt, that's not bad. That might be something I want to focus on kind of trying to use. I like, part of me really hopes like a super competitive melee player watches my video and is just like screaming at all the incorrect stuff I'm saying. But honestly, if that's the case, like I would love to be farther educated on this matter. Oh my god. Okay, yeah, these CPUs just, they still can't quite do the things I want them to do, but that's okay. Well, that was a terrible waste of a stock. No, these throws are terrible. But you don't know, like seriously, like if you play like competitive melee and you know more than I do, maybe you can try to like enlighten me on some of like maybe the competitive stuff that I'm kind of missing, or maybe not understanding certain moves as far as their utility is concerned. Because I would honestly love to know, because this is you know, this video on paper it's really dumb, but it's also, this has been really fun to kind of try to look through some like competitive history real quick, or you know, move utilities and stuff, and compare them to probably objectively the worst characters in the game. Yet again, I'm sure there's going to be somebody out there that's like going to be like, no, Pichu's still worse than, like, you know, female wireframe. Man, the lack of those additional neutral A hits, that's terrible. And it's like any like little amount of muscle memory I might have with playing Captain Falcon, it's like really messing with me just because of how heavy I am and how much worse my throws are. And you know, I don't have B buttons. Man, Melee's, even doing this, Melee is so fun. I love this. Like I said, I know I'm no like professional Melee player, and I play way more normal fighting games, but my god, this game feels so good. And I don't mean to be one of those like hashtag Melee people, but this is still like the best feeling Smash Bros. Game. Oh my god. Oh. I don't think this is going to go the way of the Zelda match, but I don't know. My god, like... I'm glad this AI's dumb. It's making me look good. So, surprisingly, I'm clearly ready for competitive male wireframe. Oh my goodness. I am so good at this, aren't I? Told you that I won one local Melee tournament. Okay, so what I was talking about before, I'll do something real fun and real stupid for the end of this already dumb video. We're gonna put on the ultimate wireframe match, okay? Give me 1 second and I will be back with you. Okay, so unfortunately, I was trying to take some time to try to figure out the 6-player stuff and the 5-player stuff just to see if I can do any of it with the wireframes. It seems like no matter what I'm doing, it's just crashing. Because I have done 5 and 6-player stuff before, but I can't seem to get it to work with the wireframes like at all, which is a shame because that was the whole point I was trying to do. So then I was trying to just make like a really big and strong 3rd wireframe and like have like me and a CPU teammate go up against it, still crashing the game. However, I didn't want to leave this video off without having some kind of really big dumb spectacle at the end. So I think I have something that is going to be entertaining and absolutely impossible for me. So you'll see when I get into the match. It is a team match. It's me versus 3 level 9 20XX specific CPU types, okay? And I gotta pick the right stage for this. I think Skyroll. You know, because like I kind of want like a lot of space, but I also don't want to make this like easy for myself because I also don't know if it being like cramped. You know, what about this Dark Temple? We're gonna go here. Yeah. Oh my god, this is laggy. Okay, so this is 3 Giga Bowsers on a team against a singular unmodified female wireframe on my own team. So this is, I think this is not possible. Well, technically, I think it would be. However, I don't think I'm going to beat... Oh, I think... Wait, is team damage on? Oh, we're leaving it on. Okay, that might give me a shot. Hold on. This might be possible. This is a cool little stage modification. Because this is the stage I wanted to kind of do, but I wanted to make it more interesting. This is a mess. Hold on. There's a chance I can survive this. Now that I know team damage is still on. This is the true test of the female wireframe. And I did that specifically because I do think on paper she's worse than the male wireframe. Yeah, they're accidentally kind of doing a lot of infighting. Oh my god. This is such a mess. Such a fun mess, such a stupid mess, but it's a fun mess. This, honestly, straight up, this might be one of the dumbest videos I've ever made, but, like, that's kind of what I'm going for with this. This is just trying to take a really silly topic, like, super seriously and trying to talk about the competitive viability of a wireframe character that has no B moves. Like, that is the nature of this video, and that is the nature of my interest. I think I'm feeling it. I feel like somewhere down the line, I feel like I want to do a sequel of this with the Fighting Polygon team in the first Smash Bros. All right, down to 2 stock. Giga Bowser 1 seems to be doing pretty terribly compared to Giga Bowser 2 and 3, and it seems like Giga Bowser 3 really has the competitive edge during this match. He has 3 stock left, but only 39% damage, and he just seems to be getting less of his teammates' infighting attacks. You know, so I'm thinking right now, as both a as both a commentator and somebody involved with the match themselves, a competitor. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm unfortunately, I think I'd have to place my bets on Giga Bowser number 3, but you know, we're all hoping for maybe like a Giga Bowser 1 comeback during this match. This is so dumb. I have no recovery. Just none. Okay, down to my last stock. But so is Giga Bowser number 1, so there is hope. Okay, wait, hold on. I hit them with the up tilt. Okay. They weren't expecting that. I like, again, this is the kind of thing where like I don't know if Giga Bowser, with his weight and stuff, I don't know if he can like properly wave dash like other characters and do all that ultra competitive stuff. But my God, this is the kind of thing where I wish there was somebody really good at Melee that'd be willing to waste their time with me, so I could get somebody super good at Melee to try to play a Giga Bowser against me while I'm playing as the Wireframe. Like, I wish I could take this to the next level, but that's where my skill taps out at, unfortunately. So, oh, that was worth me trying to tinker around with it. So, with that being said, I feel like we've learned some stuff here today. We have learned plenty about competitive Melee. Without a doubt, we have learned so much. I think all of us watching this, I guess I am technically going to be watching this. I think all of you watching this are 100% ready for your next tournament. Tell them that you need the debug menu at the very least, because your main is female Wireframe. And you're 100% serious about this, and you're going to beat all the competition. So here's the thing. Competitively speaking, fighting games, you know, are a lot about knowing what the opponent can do, both the player and the character. The thing is, who is labbing against the Wireframes, right? This is an unknown coming into the fray here. You're gonna hit him with surprise. They're not gonna know. There's gonna be no data on you and how your playstyle is going to be, right? So you're gonna, again, if there's not a tournament around you that accepts the debug menu or the 20XX training hack pack, you're gonna start a tournament that accepts that, only so you can play as the female Wireframe and the male Wireframe, right? But specifically, I want you watching the video to pick just the female Wireframe, because on paper they're much worse, right? And you got to show off how good you are. So you're gonna organize the tournament. You're gonna pick female Wireframe. I don't even care if your competitors pick Giga Bowser, right? And I want you to beat them. I want you to win. I want you to set all this up. I will be there. I'm gonna be the top female Wireframe competitor, right? So, all joking aside, this has been honestly really fun to dig through this stuff and kind of try to figure some of this out along the way with everyone. Try to figure out where, you know, some of these characters lie normally competitively with Zelda and Captain Falcon, and how their Wireframe counterparts would fare, which is obviously just much worse in both departments. And some of the changes I did not realize, like, you know, the lack of certain hit effects and durations of hitboxes and stuff like that, along with just the Wireframes having a bigger jump arc and a better dodge as far as the distance is concerned and stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean it's better on paper. Well, it is better on paper, but that doesn't mean it's better in practice, more so what I mean. So there is more differences with these characters than I thought there was, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. That was, like I said, the topic, very silly, but I tried to take it somewhat seriously. This was very compelling for me to do, and I really enjoyed making this. So, with that being said, I hope you learned some sort of like life lesson here today. I don't know what that would be, honestly. Always root for the underdog, right? And purposely limit what you can do to show everyone how much better you are than them, right? That's the takeaway for today's video. All right, with that being said, hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later.